Top Med Talk.
Hello, I'm Joff, Lacey, and welcome to Top Med Talk and our series of broadcasts from Anaesthesia 2019, the international conference of the Royal College of Anaesthetists here in London. And I'm delighted to be joined by Mike Swart, consultant anaesthetist from Torbay and national co-lead for the Getting It Right first time for perioperative medicine and anaesthesia, along with Chris Snowden. So Mike, thanks very much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now we wanted to have a quick chat about the first session, which was at times concerning, because we were talking about the future of anaesthesia and notably talking about the ongoing development of technology and increasing reliance on technology. And Ramani Munasingh, which one of the speakers, started her talk by illustrating the enormous progress, you could say, or changes that have happened in anaesthesia just over the last 50 years, and then try to make us look to what may happen in the next 50 years. Yeah. Now, where do you see the specialty of anaesthesia in the next coming decades?
I think we'll be taking on more of a leadership role rather than a delivery role of anaesthesia. And by that I mean I think we will be working with others both preoperatively and postoperatively and at some point intraoperatively to support, for lack of a better word, non-clinician anaesthetists or non-medical anaesthetists.
So in terms of the technical aspect, that it would be handed over as such to the non-physician anaesthetist, or that even technology may take over that element?
I think it's difficult to predict. I think it's easy to predict there will be change.
Yeah.
It's difficult to predict when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we are becoming more automated. We know that there are driverless cars available now. So the technology is there for motor vehicles. It's getting closer for delivery of anaesthetics. I don't think that means you will not have doctor anaesthetists or physician anaesthetists. I think you will. I think their role will change.
Though I suppose you won't get rid of the physician anaesthetist, but they may not necessarily be in the operating room. I mean, Maxine Canasson showed us a totally automated delivery of an anaesthetic, controlling the hemodynamics and the depths of anaesthesia without a human involved at all, apart from setting the parameters at the beginning. Now that's now, in 10, 20 years' time, you may have a series of theatres with that set up and then a single physician anaesthetist being involved from a periphery. Do you think that's a possibility?
I think we're going to probably go into a transition rather than a moment where everything changes. Yeah. So I think what will probably happen is you will start to use the technology with a human present, and that may initially be a physician anaesthetist. Yeah. It may then move on to being a non-physician anaesthetist with a physician anaesthetist available. And as we demonstrate it is safe, or demonstrate it is safer, then we will progressively change. I'm not making the prediction of where we end up. Yeah, I'm just making the prediction of the road or journey we're on.
Because I think, and again, Professor Canasson alluded to this, that there is potential drawbacks to progressions in technology, and most notably when we talk about artificial intelligence in healthcare, there's the concern that humans are removed from the process. But he really highlighted the benefit of technology and specifically artificial intelligence in just augmenting the clinician's capability. He gave a very nice example of a reasonably junior cardiologist being able to use echocardiograms to the similar sensitivities as their senior counterparts with the addition of artificial intelligence. Now that's got to be a great thing, not something that we should be scared of in a way.
But that isn't going to render cardiologists out of a job.
No, exactly. It's that man and machine, not one taking over the other. And The other interesting points I think we came across, particularly with Ramani, which I found interesting, was this technological singularity. There's a point in about 40 years or something where the intelligence of the computers and machines that we are using will take over that of humans. What did you make of that? That was quite a striking point for me.
I mean, I've thought a lot about this over a long period of time. I'm not convinced that there is this moment where the machines take over.
No, they might not take over, but their capabilities may take over us.
What I think you need to look at is some fairly simple examples of recent changes with technology. If you take Uber, it's a taxi. It's just a different way of hailing the taxi and a different way of paying the taxi driver.
Yeah.
But it's still a taxi.
Yeah.
I think if you now look at humans and medicine, you have to ask yourself, so what is the bit that you need the physician for? What is that role? What's the bit that's different between a physician and a machine? Now, for me, the key bit of what a physician does is they make decisions and they take responsibility. Then there's also this consultation relationship where you find information about somebody and they trust you to help them with that decision. Now, the machines can only take over if they can replicate what's happening with us now, is we're talking to each other, listening a bit to each other, probably talking more than listening. We're watching facial expression, hand movements, and you've got to have the machine to be able to mimic the human if the machine is going to take over. And I'm not certain when that's... I think that's going to be a much bigger development. But I don't think that's what this is about. I think this is, as you say, man and machine to have better outcome.
Yeah.
And I think you're still going to... Ramani alluded to it on a couple of occasions. You are still going to need the human for the consultation or for the human interaction. Now I know other people will say, oh, we've got fantastic holograms now, and actually some people feel safer talking to a hologram than a human. That may be true, but I don't think it's going to replace the human. I think that's a bit like rehearsing your talk to the mirror.
Yeah.
But you're still going to end up having to have the interaction with a human.
True, and I think of all industries facing up to the potential changes that technology and artificial intelligence brings, I think medicine is the one way, the replacement of the human, definitely, as you mentioned, the trust, the interaction that occurs in a patient pathway, that can't be replicated with technology.
Well, I'll give you another one that it's a humorous and possibly not true story, but I'll say it anyway.
They're always the best, those ones.
I missed our last clinical effectiveness session back in Torbay Hospital, but I heard at the end of last week that I had the best patient pain scores in recovery. Right.
Congratulations.
Now, thank you very much. Now, I wish I was there, right, to explain why. Because as an elderly anaesthetist, my block skill is the worst. I will put myself down as the worst local anaesthetic blocker in the department. But my interpersonal skills at finding the best person to do the block is fantastic. Now, that's called being a doctor, as opposed to being a technician. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. You'll always need that human element.
You need that human element.
Right, okay. Well, we're going to have to cut it short there because we've got the next session. But Mike Swart, as always, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Top Med Talk. Nick Majerison here. Thanks for listening to Top Med Talk. Now, before we let you go, it's important that we remind you to subscribe to Top Med Talk. That way you'll never, ever miss another episode. Also, if we could encourage you to join us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, pretty much every single social media platform, we're there. Join us. And finally, check out topmedtalk.com. If If you go to our website, you can subscribe to email updates. That way we can always tell you where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing, and how you can join us. topmedtalk.com and click on the section marked email updates. Finally, Top Med Talk is proud to act as the broadcasting arm of EBPOM, Evidence-Based Perioperative Medicine. We'd love you to find out more about them as well. ebpom.org is their website. That's ebpom.org. And if you go to ebpom.org/meetings, you can find out about some of the wonderful meetings that we attend and cover across the year here on Top Med Talk. That's ebpom.org/meetings.